Welcome to today's video, Understanding 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. To truly understand this verse, we need to look at the broader context of 1 Peter. This letter was written by the Apostle Peter to Christians who were scattered throughout various regions. These believers were facing persecution, trials, and challenges for their faith. Peter's message was designed to encourage and strengthen them in their suffering. In chapter 5, Peter is giving final instructions, particularly to church leaders and younger believers, and then he turns to all Christians with a call to humility and trust in God. This verse sits in a section that emphasizes humility before God. Just prior to verse 7, Peter writes about humbling ourselves under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt us in due time. This act of casting our cares upon God is rooted in an attitude of submission and trust, acknowledging that we cannot carry our burdens alone. Let's now dive into the meaning of this verse. The first part of the verse says, casting all your care upon him. The word casting implies throwing or placing something away from yourself. Here, we are instructed to cast or throw our cares, our anxieties, worries, and concerns onto God. These are the things that weigh us down, things that cause stress or fear. God invites us to let go of them and give them to him. This is not a mere suggestion but a command. It reflects a deep trust in God's ability to handle what we cannot. The second part, for he careth for you, is equally important. This is the reason why we can confidently cast our cares on God. He cares about us. The word careth speaks of God's deep, personal concern for us. It is not a distant or indifferent care, but one that is intimate and intentional. God is not only aware of our struggles, but he is actively involved in our lives, ready and willing to take on our burdens. There is something profound in the simplicity of this verse. It reflects the very heart of God's character, his desire to be intimately involved in every detail of our lives. It is a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles. The world often teaches us to be self-reliant, to fix things ourselves. But this verse turns that mentality upside down, calling us to rely not on our own strength, but on the strength and care of God. The act of casting our cares is also a demonstration of faith. It acknowledges that we believe God is strong enough to carry what we cannot. The worries we hold on to can weigh us down spiritually and emotionally, but when we release them to God, we are acknowledging his sovereignty, his control over all things. This requires humility, the ability to admit that we need help, that we cannot do it all on our own. In a deeper spiritual sense, this verse speaks to the relationship between trust and surrender. When we cast our cares upon God, we are essentially surrendering control. We are admitting that God knows better, that his care for us surpasses our ability to manage life's challenges. How do we take this verse and apply it to our daily lives? First, we must recognize the cares we carry. It could be the stresses of work, family issues, health concerns, or personal fears. Identify these cares, and then practice the act of casting them upon God. This is not always easy. It requires regular prayer and a conscious decision to let go of the things that cause us worry. One practical way to apply this is by starting each day with a moment of surrender. Before diving into your tasks or challenges, take time in prayer to hand over your concerns to God. Say to him, Lord, I give you my worries. I trust you to carry these burdens because I know you care for me. This daily act of surrender helps to cultivate a lifestyle of trust. Another way is to remind yourself of God's care throughout the day. Whenever anxiety or stress creeps in, go back to this verse. Speak it out loud if necessary. I cast my care upon you, Lord, because you care for me. Repeating this verse helps to reaffirm your faith and realign your heart with the truth of God's love and concern. Finally, trust in the outcome. When we cast our cares on God, we are trusting that he will handle things in his perfect way and timing. It may not always look like we expect, but we can rest assured that God, in his infinite wisdom and care, is working all things for our good. If this teaching has blessed you today, be sure to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Let us know how you're casting your cares upon God and finding peace in his care. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and may His peace surround you as you trust in Him.